Imagine a life not merely endured but profoundly embraced. A life where every twist of fate, every searing challenge, every quiet joy is not just accepted but met with an unwavering, radical love. This is the audacious proposition of amor fati, love of fate. It is not a call to passive resignation, nor a naive optimism that everything is inherently good. Instead, it is an invitation, born from the ancient wisdom of the Stoics, to forge an unbreakable spirit, to find profound serenity amidst life's relentless currents, by transforming our deepest struggles into the very fabric of our strength. To love not despite what happens, but precisely because of it. This journey demands courage, introspection, and a fundamental reorientation of how we perceive the world and our place within its grand, indifferent, yet ultimately rational design. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies the concept of the cosmos, a perfectly ordered, rational, and benevolent system, often referred to as the logos. It is an intelligent guiding principle, an immanent deity, weaving together every event, every circumstance, into a coherent whole. To the Stoics, nothing happens by chance. Every occurrence, no matter how chaotic it may seem to our limited perception, is part of an overarching design. Our universe, vast and indifferent, is not arbitrary but purposeful. This isn't merely a theological assertion, it is the foundational premise upon which our understanding of amor fati must rest. If the universe is rational, and we are part of it, then our task is to align our individual reason with this universal reason, to understand that what appears as adversity is but a necessary movement in the grand unfolding dance of existence. To resist it is to resist the very nature of reality itself, a futile struggle against an immutable tide. Before one can love fate, one must first discern what truly is fate. The Stoics drew a sharp, unequivocal line, the dichotomy of control, as Epictetus so starkly put it in the opening lines of the Enchiridion. Some things are up to us, and some things are not up to us. What falls under up to us? Our opinions, our impulses, our desires, our aversions, in short, our judgments and our reactions. What is not up to us? Our bodies, our possessions, our reputations, our offices, and, critically, external events themselves. This distinction is not merely academic, it is the bedrock of tranquility. To lament what is not in our power is to embark upon a path of perpetual frustration. To focus solely on what is within our power, however, is to discover an immense, unshakable freedom. Amor fati does not ask us to love injustice or suffering, but to love that which happens, understanding that our true power lies in how we interpret and respond to it, not in controlling its arrival. The initial step towards amor fati is not a joyous embrace, but a sober, clear-eyed acceptance. This is not the passive resignation of a defeated spirit, but the active, rational recognition of reality. Seneca reminds us, "No man is more unhappy than he who is never satisfied with what he has or with what has happened to him." True acceptance means confronting an event without the inner dialogue of "it shouldn't be this way" or "why me?" It is the moment we cease fighting the facts. This clarity allows us to move beyond useless regret or anger and into a space where productive action or serene endurance becomes possible. It acknowledges that what is, and by accepting this unalterable truth, we free our minds from the exhausting burden of wishing reality were otherwise. This foundational acceptance is the fertile ground from which the deeper, more profound love of fate can eventually bloom. Here, amor fati transcends mere acceptance. It actively transmutes adversity into advantage. Marcus Aurelius, burdened by empire and illness, offers us the quintessential insight: The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is the alchemist's fire of Stoicism. Every external obstacle, every setback, every unwelcome change is not merely something to be endured, but raw material for our inner refinement. A physical injury forces a re-evaluation of priorities. A professional failure compels a deeper learning. A personal loss cultivates resilience and empathy. The universe in its inscrutable wisdom does not present us with bad events, but with opportunities to practice virtue. Our perception, our judgment transforms the perceived evil of an event into a vehicle for growth, for developing patience, courage, wisdom, or justice. This is not a Pollyannish denial of pain, but a sophisticated understanding of its potential. Why love what happens? Because it provides the very canvas upon which we can paint a life of virtue. To the Stoics, virtue, understood as wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance, is the only true good. Everything else, wealth, health, reputation, pleasure, pain, is an indifferent. It holds no intrinsic moral value. Therefore, a bad external event, like illness or poverty, cannot diminish our ultimate good, which is our character, our moral excellence. In fact, such events allow us to practice virtue. Illness calls for fortitude, poverty for temperance, injustice for justice. Amor fati is the recognition that every moment, every condition, is an invitation to exercise our rational faculty, to act virtuously, to live in accordance with our highest nature. When we understand this, the seeming randomness of life reveals its profound purpose: to test, to hone, and to perfect our character. To live according to nature, for a Stoic, means to live rationally. As human beings, our unique faculty is reason. The logos, the guiding reason of the universe, is also present within us. When we embrace what happens, we are aligning our individual reason with the universal reason. This is not some vague mystical ideal, but a practical imperative. It means understanding our place in the cosmic order, recognizing that we are parts of a larger whole, and acting in a way that contributes to the common good, accepting the flow of events as a natural expression of that whole. It means acknowledging the impermanence of all things, the cyclical nature of life and death, joy and sorrow. To resist this natural flow, to curse our fate, is to act irrationally against our own highest nature. Amor fati is thus the ultimate expression of living authentically, embracing the reality of existence with open eyes and a resolute heart. Much of our suffering does not originate from the events themselves, but from our resistance to them. Our attachments, our expectations, our stubborn insistence that things should be otherwise create an internal friction that burns far hotter than any external fire. When we rage against a loss, mourn a past that cannot be retrieved, or fear a future that may never arrive, we are battling shadows. Seneca reminds us that the greatest obstacle to living is expectation, which hangs on tomorrow and loses today. Amor fati teaches us that suffering is often a choice, not an inevitability. It is the product of our judgments: this is bad, this should not be, rather than the raw data of the event itself. By learning to love everything that happens, we dismantle this internal resistance, cutting off suffering at its root. We free ourselves from the tyranny of what if and if only, choosing instead the quiet power of what is. What then is the ultimate reward of amor fati? A profound, almost paradoxical freedom. When we genuinely love everything that happens, we become impervious to fortune's slings and arrows. We build an inner citadel, a mental fortress that no external event can breach. This is not indifference, it is an active mastery over our inner landscape. If all events are accepted, even embraced, as opportunities for virtue and expressions of a rational cosmos, then nothing external can truly harm us. Our tranquility becomes unassailable. This freedom is radical because it is independent of circumstances. We are free, not because we control the world, but because we control our reaction to it, and have chosen to see it all as good, or at least as raw material for good. It is the ultimate liberation from fear, from anxiety, from the perpetual pursuit of external comforts. We are free simply because we have chosen to be by aligning our will with the will of the universe. Amor fati is not a destination, but a relentless daily practice. It begins with mindful awareness, observing our automatic judgments, our instinctive aversion to difficulty. It involves premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils, imagining potential hardships not to dread them, but to mentally prepare and accept them. It demands that we consciously frame every challenge as an opportunity. Did a plan fail? Good. It teaches patience or flexibility. Was a loved one lost? Painful, yes, but it sharpens our appreciation for life's brevity and the preciousness of connection, calling forth our fortitude. It is a continuous effort to bring our rational mind to bear on every experience, to see the interconnectedness of all things, and to remember that our true good lies always within our character, not in the fluctuating world outside. This is the work of a lifetime, a sculpting of the soul, turning the raw stone of experience into a masterpiece of resilience and peace. To live with amor fati is to live a life fully, deeply, and without reservation. It means embracing the full spectrum of human experience, the light and the shadow, the triumph and the tribulation, as equally integral parts of existence. It is not an absence of feeling, but a profound understanding that even sorrow holds its own austere beauty, its own lessons. It allows us to face the inevitable end, death itself, not with terror, but as a natural, unalterable part of the cosmic design, a return to the elements from which we came. When we love fate, we cease to waste precious energy on resistance, regret, or wishful thinking. Instead, our energy is channeled into living virtuously, acting with purpose, and engaging fully with the present moment, whatever it may bring. This is the ultimate Stoic aspiration, not merely to survive, but to truly flourish, to find profound contentment, not despite life's difficulties, but because of the strength and wisdom they compel us to cultivate. Amor fati is perhaps the most challenging, yet ultimately most liberating of all Stoic doctrines. It asks us to look squarely at the often brutal, indifferent face of the universe, and instead of flinching, to offer it our love. It is not a passive surrender, but an active, conscious choice to align our will with the cosmic order, to see every event, every twist of fate, every personal struggle as a necessary component of the whole, a unique opportunity for us to embody our highest virtues. This is not easy. It demands constant vigilance, rigorous self-examination, and a willingness to confront our deepest attachments and fears. But the reward, as the Stoics understood, is immeasurable, an unshakable inner tranquility, a profound freedom from external circumstance, and a life lived with deep purpose and unwavering resilience. In a world increasingly defined by anxiety and uncertainty, the ancient call to amor fati offers not a panacea, but a path not to a life free of challenge, but to a life where every challenge, every joy, and every sorrow is integrated into a tapestry of strength, wisdom, and profound acceptance. The universe continues its relentless, magnificent unfolding. The question remains, will you curse its currents, or learn to love its every wave?